Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Katie O'Neill and I am so excited to welcome you to today's video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live from Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in very blustery, incredibly windy Colorado. So we've got a little winter storm blowing in, but right now it's in the 60s. It's beautiful, and the only thing prettier than the weather today is this RV. So please, we've got a guest videographer today, Alyssa. Go ahead and take her on back. For those of you who haven't tuned in before, I like to start my videos from the inside out. So, please, as you walk through this video, note all of this beautiful detail in this coach. This is a custom ordered coach for Wayne and Christy. Very excited to have them finally able to pick up their coach. They were some clients that I met up with after some videos back in 2023. So we've been working on this for a long time. Wayne's finally retired, so congratulations. And we finally were able to nail exactly what they were looking for. And I have to tell you, it couldn't have turned out any better. From the exterior paint job to this beautiful custom interior, everything is just fantastic. And we had a few model changes. We started off, not quite sure which floor plan to go with. But as you'll see here, they started off with the 4369. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, the 4369 is the most popular floor plan for the Dutch Star in all of North America. And North America's #1 selling coach is the Dutch Star. So this is the RV to be in. If you're part of the Newmar Country Club, all of us know this is kind of like a uniform. People get dressed in the morning. This is what they put on first. And really happy to bring you a rendition of a 2026. So one of the main selling points of this RV, of course, is this beautiful shower. As you can see, it's got the rain shower head. It's got the nice dark gunmetal faucet fixtures, the wand on a slide. We also have the assist handles. And then under the rain shower head, you'll see that nice little alcove that has the bar across it. One of the benefits of that, of course, is that you're going to be able to keep your shampoo and conditioner in the coach without it coming out of place while you're driving. And then there's another alcove down below. And that alcove down below, as you can see, has those little grates in it so that the, so locked there. Okay, that's the lock, folks. If you want to see, just so it doesn't come open while you're driving, you just twist that and it opens right up. But so as you can see down here, if you had a bar of soap, it would go ahead and drain as it's supposed to right there. Keep in mind, the teak bench here is rated for 250 pounds. Great place to wash your feet, shave your legs, whatever it might be to get ready for the day. And then one of my favorite features is that there are these towel racks in the back of the door. And then as you can see up here, we also have a robe hook. So just nice to be able to kind of get that residential feel when you're in your RV. It's comfortable. This is a really comfortable space to be in. Now, just to the left of us, you'll see that we've got a nice porcelain Dometic toilet. And that is backing to the egress door. So as you can see, this egress door is not only a great place to escape if there is any kind of fire or emergency, it's also got an opening window here right next to the fan. And with these beautiful cathedral ceilings, all of that air is going to waft towards the top. So it'll give you a nice exit point for the steam from the shower or anything else. And then also, please do note that with this emergency exit door, there is a ladder that deploys so you could crawl up and down if there was an emergency, but it is retractable, so it's not a one-time use. And it's also a great place if you want to take all your linens out, all of your heavier items, to wash them inside, at the end of a camping trip. Of course, you can wash your sheets, you can wash your towels, all of those things in your Splendid stackable washer and dryer. But if you want to do a really big kind of consolidated load to get ready for a trip, great place just to dump that laundry out the back door. Now, one of the reasons that this floor plan is so popular is right here. So you'll see we've got these nice adjustable shelves all the way up here. So this is a really huge rear closet, and this is probably the most beneficial aspect of this coach from a floor plan situation. So you've got the safe over here on the right-hand side. You've got this really nice, hanging rack the whole way across. You could remove a few of these shelves and have the entire width of the rear of the coach for hanging. We've opted in for the shoe closet, so there's a shoe cabinet here. But you also have a great place up here. So if you wanted to keep shoe boxes up here, you could do that as well. And of course it is lit so you can see what you're doing, and it's, you know, early in the morning and it's dark when you're getting ready. You can come in and pick out, you know, whatever it is that you need for your wardrobe. And there's also some deep storage down there. So if you've got any larger items that you need to store, maybe you keep a CPAP machine in the coach that you travel with, you can go ahead and find a place to tuck that away very conveniently before you hit the road. So this is a great opportunity to talk about making things special. So we only have 2 special features on this coach beyond the paint. So the custom ordered paint is a big deal. And then on this coach we have this custom ordered countertop. We really liked the way this was going to look throughout the coach. And so this is from the Dutch Star. So this is just a different color that doesn't come with a Stratton interior. We liked the look of the countertop better. The other thing that we did is we had some custom paint made for our cabinet. So you'll notice like this is an all sable finish here. In the mid bath it was two-tone. So we did take the two-tone out just to give it a nice look. But as you can see, this is a really gorgeous look to have just an all like unified color in this rear bath. Things that are standard like these nice full extension soft close solid maple drawers. You know, these things don't need to be special ordered by Newmar. Newmar makes what is already a fantastic coach without needing to do any of the extra modifications. You know, and then you'll see there's some other things worth mentioning. This is the standard floor for Stratton. So this beautiful porcelain wood plank floor is standard. And then you see right here we have our vent. The nice thing about the vent is that vent is for your hydronic heat. So not only does this coach all electric with an Oasis system that is going to provide you with a tankless hot water heater so you can get nice and hot in terms of the water. It's also going to provide you what we call hydronic heat, and that's a tube of liquid, and there's an 8-gallon reservoir in the Oasis chamber outside, and it's got 2 different directions. It pumps out fluid underneath the coach, and it pushes it over that hot tube of liquid through these registers, giving you nice warm air throughout the coach. But these floors that you're seeing are also heated, so heated floors, hydronic heat, 15,000 BTU air conditioning system with heat pumps, lots of different ways to stay warm in this Dutch Star. So if this is a coach that you wanted, for instance, to take, you know, up into those colder areas like maybe Tiger Run in April, you know, the higher altitudes, this coach is going to be very much an all-season coach. So it's funny, Wayne and Christy were concerned about coming in tomorrow to pick up their RV. They said, God, it's going to be cold. And I said, you guys, it doesn't matter, you're in a Dutch Star, it's going to be nice. So they're going to come in and do their orientation tomorrow morning. They'll be on site here for 2.5–3 hours with Marlon, our technologist. He's actually doing another delivery. If you tuned in a few weeks back, I did a Superstar for Tim and Desiree. They're here this morning picking up their coach. They'll stay overnight for a little bit too, and you know, and then when they're done, they'll actually probably stay. They'll probably meet each other, which is kind of fun. And then I've got another one coming in on Thursday. So really cool to kind of be part of the family here and to be able to see all these great coaches come through. And keep in mind, we have great inventory. Wade and Christy are coming in on Thursday, and they called me to special order a coach, and they found one in inventory that they loved so much that they are actually taking something out of stock. So we can really help out on that front. So Alyssa, let's go ahead and trade places. I'm going to have you come over here, and I'm just going to show off a few different things. First of all, the Splendid stackable washer and dryer. Just little things like the fact that this hinge opens all the way up to the left so that you have great access to these doors. These are pretty generous sized washer and dryers. Like I said, I can do my whole entire sheet set in here. I can do a blanket and some towels as well. So this is a great place to be able to do your laundry. We use ours all the time, and we tend to put the towels in the dryer at the end of our showers just to get them kind of fluffed. They don't need to be washed as frequently when you're drying them out completely in between your showers and such. But you can also use these almost like laundry bins if you've got that kind of smoky, yucky campfire thing going on. This is a great place to keep your laundry. Another great feature of this coach is I stepped out into this bedroom. I'm going to open up this little pocket door here, and you'll see there's Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa. The full-length mirror. So big differentiation between this product and the the Ventana is the cathedral ceiling, and then having that pocket door with a full-length mirror. keep in mind, if you want to buy a Ventana with a pocket door with a full-length mirror, it's a simple request to have it added. There's a lot of things we can do to customize coaches. So if you are at a different price point or a different bracket, you can choose the options that you want. We can usually get those to translate from one model line to the next. So Alyssa, come on down into this bedroom. We're going to talk about some stuff we cannot translate from one to the next, and that's going to be this slide out cover. As you can see, this is so sexy. With this nice accent lighting I've got going on here. You can really see how pronounced the headboard is because we've got the Summit two-tone cabinets mixed in with this suede finish. It's just a really, really definite contrast. It just turned out so well. I cannot tell you, when Wayne and Christy came in to see the coach after it arrived the first time, they were like pretty much jaw dropped. Wow, this is exciting. This turned out so well. What a beautiful execution. And then on the nightstands on either side, there's cutouts. They lead to a USB Type A and C port and a place to keep those sultry novels, maybe a water bottle, whatever it is that you want to store next to your bed. But one of the nice benefits is, in choosing this, although this doesn't have a whole lot of specials beyond the factory editions, you get to choose the things you want. So you've got these two 11-inch wide inserts for the extendable Eurobooth dinette, the extra chairs. You've got all of this space on either side of the bed. And you'll notice that not only do you have a lot of space, but there's no longer any carpet at all in these Newmar products. They've moved to this really nice durable vinyl product that they can put underneath everything. So you could definitely keep a few different storage boxes next to the bed if you wanted to. Lots of stuff stored underneath here. And then most importantly, in my opinion, there's a lot of tuck space. So if you're trying to make the bed and you've got your blankets and your comforter on, sometimes it's really hard to get your blankets to settle down nicely. And in this coach, of course, it's really easy. I don't know if you can hear the creaking outside. I'll tell you, this coach is very, very soundproof. One of the reasons that is because you've got a full tile floor here. This floor, the subfloor is 3 inches thick. And as you'll see, it's all tile the whole way down when we get to the Dutch Star product line. And that's because this slide here is actually hydraulic. So it will lift up out of the pocket and then slide in or slide back out and then drop down gently into the pocket versus that Ventana product. And that's a big differentiation. So there's no vinyl on the floor here. It's a full tile floor. And again, dual pane windows. As you can see, I could open this window to exit if I had an emergency. It's also got a screen so I could pop it open for fresh air. And the window here is ventilated as well as on either side of the headboard. Keep in mind as you go through this process of ordering your coach and figuring out what you want, if there's an opportunity for you to learn about the products, certain things are important to note. For instance, you can open the windows in a London Air, but you can't in an Essex or a King Air. That might be a difference maker for you. We opted very particularly not to have lithionics on this coach. Wayne and Lori, they've been texting me all morning too. They've got a Supreme Air. Wayne and Christy are planning on doing a lot of pole-to-pole camping, and if they do any boondocking, they just don't really feel like it's necessary for them to have to run their air conditioner overnight without having their coach plugged in. They can use their generator if necessary, or they'll be plugged into a campground. So in doing that, you don't always need to have that lithionics package. So that made this coach $20,000 less than if I had had that 640 volts or 640 amps of lithionics. Instead, I've got 800 amp hours of AGM batteries on this coach as a standard feature. Again, that's a $19,000 savings. Or if you wanted to go to the 3 lithiums, it's a $30,000 savings. So pretty big differentiation there in being able to custom the coach. We're not going to go outside today just because it's so windy, and this is a delivery, so I don't have, if one of the doors was to bend back too far or like get caught in one of these guests, I don't have a lot of time to be able to amend anything. So we're going to do most of our talk on the inside, which is why I want to cover things that have changed this year. So for instance, this year you'll still have these panels that are very familiar that you've seen throughout, but as opposed to being powered by Silverleaf, they're going to now be powered by ATC. So they're really good and functional. As you can see, I can go to my home screen. I can do all of my shades. So if I wanted to do the dresser shade, I could just do that and just the dresser goes down. If I want to do all of the shades down, I could do this and all of the shades would go down in the bedroom. So I can go through and choose which room I want to operate. I can control my HVAC here. So if I want to run my Oasis system and turn on AC1 or AC2 because I'm plugged in, I can do that. If I want to run off my burner, I can do that as well. I can do everything that I normally want to do from any of these panels as well as the phone. But again, this is no longer powered by Silverleaf, it's powered by ATC, so that's pretty handy. You'll see here that it's got these controls here. This is for the slide out, so there's still that hard touch in and out. And then this is for your awning control in the bedroom. We used to have this awning that comes out over the window with a kind of a hidden control under here. As you'll see under here now, we just have our puck lighting. And then, of course, when I say under here, it's under a 43-inch flat screen TV. We went ahead and ordered things like Starlink at factory. We ordered the 4 Merlin solar panels with 120 watts a piece, so 480 watts of solar at the factory standard. Everything is just integrated into this coach. And again, very, very few specials, but the specials that we had have made this coach so unique, especially this two-tone interior. Now, as we leave the bedroom and we come into the galley, you'll note that there's a really generous pantry on the 4369 floor plan. And one of the things I like about this, and in fact, next month I've got an Essex coming in for a couple out of Florida, and they're actually ordering a different floor plan, but another Essex just like the one they have currently. And one of the things they're doing is they're getting these push to release doors, because in the Essex it has a little bar that locks, and they actually prefer the doors that they had on their original Dutch Star. So we're going to go back to what they like the best. So this is just a really generous amount of cabinet space here in your pantry. As you can see, you've got 6 drawers all the way down, and when you open the door, the lights come on. It's really easy, unless you're trying to sneak a snack. It could blow your cover. Now here you'll see we've got the refrigerator doors are nice and solidly closed. I go ahead and slide this over to the left. We'll open everything up. As you can see, of course, this coach has been preserved in time. It's never been operated by anybody else. The only people beyond our technicians here that have been in the coach are, of course, our detail team, and then Wayne and Christy themselves came up to take a look at the coach. But we're, no one's traipsing around in it, no one's looking at it. It's coming straight from the factory directly to us, and it's here just for them. This freezer's already nice and cold, ready for some ice cubes to make those margaritas to celebrate tomorrow when they get in. And then here in the kitchen, you can really see how nice and bright this countertop is. And it's not to say that the standard countertop for the Stratton isn't nice, but when you're looking at this beautiful, white, summit white, suede finish with this beautiful backsplash with just that light gray and white subway tiles, the glass tiles swirled about, they really match this countertop better. So as we went through, Chrissy and Wayne have spent a lot of time at Newmar. They're big fans of the product and didn't really feel like you had to do a whole lot to make it better. But there was a few little tweaks that we could do just to make it just that much nicer. Here's the Starlink information. When we do our orientation tomorrow, Marlon will make sure that the Starlink is set up. You've got your account fully functioning, and also that it's operating on all the devices that you need to have it operating on. So if you need help linking it up to a computer or to a cell phone, that's a part of the service that we provide when you come to pick it up. A great place here for spices, of course. And then down below, Wayne's funny. He called me. He's like, Katie, what kind of baking dish do I need to make cookies in my new RV? We're gonna try out the oven. So here you go, Wayne, and I know I sent him some pictures already, but he asked me what kind of racks there are. So we can do a few different things. So you got your 2 different racks here, right? So this rack here is gonna be the one that you would use to make like tater tots. So I don't know if you can see that, Wayne, but so this is about the size, and I already sent you a picture of that smaller little baking tray. This one up here is gonna be for the cookies. But you can use either one of these, in this oven, and it's also got an air fryer. So this bottom one, for instance, would be a great rack to have in here for the air fryer. And if you have that tray that I emailed you or I sent you a text picture of, you could put it underneath here if you had things like tater tots, so that if you had any crumbs, you didn't have to clean this out so much. But it's a really, really nice setup. And also, if you aren't familiar with it, there's a Romanoff clay pot that they make, and you soak it in your sink. I'll show you where you'd soak it, since that's kind of a selling point on this coach as well. You would soak it here in the sink, It would fit right here, get the water full, fill it up with water, and then it hydrates, and then it's got a cover, so you put all of your chicken, maybe rice, some chicken stock, maybe some sauteed onions and mushrooms, and you put that in that Romanov clay pot, and then you can put it in the actual convection oven cold, and you put it up at like 450, 500 for about an hour, and it'll cook everything in that nice moist environment. Because with a convection oven, that is kind of the downside, right? It's got that air moving around. This is a way that you can still cook your poultry dishes and your fish dishes in your microwave or in your convection oven without having them dry out. So Romanov clay pot, Williams-Sonoma has them, Peppercorn, any of those nicer places that you buy your kitchen stuff. And when you go shopping for your nice kitchen stuff, I'd also recommend a brand called All-Clad. They have a number of different levels of copper core, or I should say induction pans for your induction cooktop. But one of the things I'd like to point out is if you can get the copper core, they have like a D5, D3. The copper core just has it's made in a stainless steel pan that is going to be conductive on your True Induction cooktop, but it spreads the heat out evenly. And one of the things about this True Induction you have to know is if I could put a paper towel down on this burner and boil water, it would boil at altitude in like a third of the time as it would with propane. And the cool thing is I could also set this either 1 through 5, or I can set it to a temperature. So if I want to cook a fried egg, for instance, 360 is how I like my fried eggs. How do I know that? I've made a dozen fried eggs. I mean, probably a lot more than that, probably hundreds of fried eggs while camping, and I always set it to 360, and they always come out exactly the same way. So you can get that consistency of cooking in your RV and really feel like a master chef even though you're on the road. The other benefit, of course, is that this can come out. So that's honestly, if you wanted to know a downside and a reason I'd choose a London Air over an Essex, that would be a consideration. I'd like to have a removable cooktop. We take this outside all the time. I don't really use my cutting boards because I just can't imagine putting like little marks on them. But you could leave your cutting boards out and use this entire cooktop the full time, even though your range was outside, and you'd still have all of this counter space. And as you can see, this is an insanely generous amount of counter space. We did opt for the optional window. There's an outlet here for a coffee maker, or a coffee grinder or toaster oven. There's also one over here, so you've got outlets on either side, a ton of deep space over here. And then as you can see, I have the extra island extended right now, and of course it does give you a ton of storage, a really deep drawer here on top, a little more shallow here on this island, and then when you pop it in though, you have more space in your galley. So if you have company and you've got a lot of people milling around, you don't necessarily need to have that out. Or if you've got a lot of people milling around and you've got like a nice charcuterie board or some guacamole and salsa, it's a great place to be able to put something out for everybody to have access to. Just to the right of that, of course, we have our favorite, our Fisher-Paykel dishwasher. What good is this? Oh man, talk about a place to put down your dishes when you're drying them. If you're going to do your own dishes and you're not using the dishwasher, you still have to find a place to put them. This is a great place to be able to stow them while they're drying. Also, you'll note that we have a remote here for your soundbar inside. We also have a soundbar outside. We also have our remotes for our television. So we have the TV here up front, which is another 43-inch television, and then we also have the 50-inch flat screen. While we're just here, I'm going to go ahead and start getting that up. Now you wouldn't want to travel with the TV up, which is why you have the one in the front. But as I mentioned, there's remotes for everything. I did have a client who most recently came in. He said, when I change the television channel on that one, it changes the channel on that one. And I'm like, Steve, why are you watching 2 TVs? Like, that's a lot of TV. Did you just have one on? He said, no. He said, I took that one out and I made it a different TV, so it's got its own remote. And I was like, so you could watch like 2 shows? I mean, I get really bored watching TV shows. I'm kind of a busybody. So, I mean, I kind of get it because I'm usually like playing some kind of game on my phone or something, but I don't normally watch 2 television shows at the same time. Okay, so one last cabinet. I don't want to miss this one just because this is a great, again, removable shelf. So, with all of this shelf adjustment, you can really store things the way that you want to in this RV. And again, it's just about making this like a home-ish type of feel. And you know, for instance, so you got your trash can here, you've got your cleaning supplies, maybe you've got paper towels and other, you know, garbage bags out here. You've got a place to stow the sink covers because, I mean, come on guys, let's be real. How many people have sink covers at their house? You don't. So when you get to your campground, you can pop them in there. There's a place for them to stow. And then when you get on the road, you go ahead and put them back in place. Another great feature that you probably don't have at home, I do, because I started building my house after I got a job selling RVs and I realized how amazing kick plates are. But you've got a kick plate here and then you've got a hose attachment here. Now, I know you don't need a hose attachment when you have a kick plate because you can sweep everything into that kick plate, but the hose attachment's nice. If you spill something in a cabinet, maybe you got, you know, rice or flour or whatever it is that you're cooking with and you need to get those little pantry doors cleaned out, you can do that with those hose attachments and they just fit in right there. I usually keep my hoses outside and a lot of times I'm using my hoses to actually vacuum off my paddle boards before I roll them up to stow them, you know, in between trips. So however it works for you would work for me, I'm sure. Up here we've got some more storage. As you can see, this is flanking the cabinet that you have again for your television. Again, this is a 50-inch TV and it's already wired to Starlink. There are HDMI connections up here, you know, so we do have connectivity if you wanted to have a DVD player, a Blu-ray player, PlayStation 5, but honestly, you can just use this as a standard cabinet because with that Starlink, everything's already linked through. And you can watch Hulu or, you know, Hulu or Fubo or, you know, Netflix, whatever it is that you're watching, you can do right here on your televisions, any of them, without having to have a cable source. So that's a big change. Now, that being said, I've got a client that picked up a coach last week. They just wanted to use Starlink for internet, but they really like to have their Dish Network satellite receiver. So we installed a Traveler unit for them. We order most of our stock without them because at this point in time, it's easier for us just to install what you like. And we have good technicians, folks. If you call a shop and you don't have a shop that gives you confidence in installing things onto your coach, it doesn't sound like they're familiar with it or they do it a lot, call me. Come buy a coach from us. We do everything and we have amazing technicians that are able to troubleshoot and work around. RVs are weird. I mean, there's just wires that are going everywhere. On that note, you know, you've got aluminum C-channel construction where you've got things wired behind the walls. These guys, our technicians here, know how to work around the construction of a Newmar. They know how to get through from point A to point B to make sure you have everything where you have it, where you need to have it operate, you know, consistently without repair. So definitely an advantage to you if you're shopping for a coach would be to shop for a coach with us. Again, there's again 2 more USB type A and C outlets on that wall. And of course that's important because when you're traveling, everyone wants to be able to power up their devices. So you'll notice they're strategically placed, like here's another one over here. And why is that important? Well, because if you're trying to work on the road and you have plenty of room, like you could have one of those folding chairs underneath, you could have another person sitting here, so you could have 2 people, you know, sitting either place side by side, so you could have one person here and one person there. There's an outlet there for them and there's an outlet there for me. And you'll note that that outlet is right below what is just another very classy decorative item for Newmar. Just these little details like the wall sconces giving you great illumination. And by the way, this is a lot of seating area. So Wayne, Christy, if you're not trying to have too much company, you might not want to show your friends this video because they might want to join you for dinner more frequently these days. I love the fact, by the way, that this little buffet stays in place. This is a great feature. You can keep your Cholula and your napkins and your salt and pepper all out there on your table. You'll note that this is a great storage place for any kind of placemats, plates and bowls. I keep all my dishes underneath my seats. I figure, you know, if you're getting ready to put things on the table, you might as well have them close by. For those of you that don't want to have to bend down to reach things, you have all this storage space up here as well. You'd probably put your plates and bowls across the way in the galley, but this would be great for coffee mugs, any kind of tumblers, beer steins, shot glasses. We did a lot of shot glasses in the last video. It's probably why Jody's not here. I probably influenced him in the wrong direction and now he's out sick. which is great because we get to show Alyssa. Alyssa walked in today, she's like, Katie, I've never been in one of these. And I was like, this is a good first RV to go into, Alyssa. This is a beautiful, beautiful example of what you can do when you take the time to order a coach. And I'll tell you, one of the things that's really exciting for me, as I mentioned, I've been working with the Urix for a few years now. And in fact, I ordered a coach for them that I sold to somebody else because Wayne said it wasn't time yet. But one of the cool things is since they started shopping, they've added this solid surface between the theater seats. So you still get all of this great storage down below, all these places to store your blankets, and you have these really nice power recliners. And I don't know if you can show Alyssa, but there's like a little charging port in there. You know, so pretty cool setup here. But having this solid surface here is so cool because, I mean, honestly, I don't know how many people drink wine out of a tumbler that's going to sit in this cup holder. I mean, you could, but if you want to just have a nice traditional glass of Pinot, we've got some nice good Pinot wine glasses, you're not going to put them in your cup holder. That's just like an accident for your stem waiting to happen. So having the solid surface here is a huge advantage, I feel like. Now, sitting across from us, we also have a trifold sofa. So again, Wayne and Christy, if you're not looking to have company, don't have people watch this because that's a full-size bed there. And then as you can see, you could have very easily 2 queen-size beds in this galley area. There's so much room. And so, Alyssa, if you want to just pop back a little, keep an eye, keep going because I'm going to get you to the middle. I'm going to close the slide. So you keep going, and then just go over there to the left a little so you can show this. We're going to show you how this hydraulic slide pops up when it comes in. So just show down on the floor right here to your left, down here. And just show down on the floor. And you're gonna have to watch out, Alyssa. There you go. Go stand next to the bed. Keep going a little forward. Alyssa, keep coming. There we go. Keep coming. There we go. So there's with one slide in, and then Alyssa, yeah, you want to step back just about 2 steps, and you're going to find yourself in a nice little pocket right there. And it's really important for us to show you what these slides look like when they're closed. So step forward just about 2 steps. There you go, and then you can turn around and you can show where I'm standing. And here we go. So this is your walking room. So if you've got, a puppy or pooch and you're trying to be able to get them back and forth, they can get over here. You can put the dog bed underneath the booth dinette. You would still be able to come over and make a sandwich. You could sit down here and watch a movie, have something to drink, relax a little bit in between your next drive. So you can do all of that here in this coach with the slides closed, and that's a really important feature. The other thing that we should talk about is that when you get into the front area here, these are both recliners. So you've got full-fledged recliners, and when I say full-fledged, I mean, if I push and hold this button up, as you can see, you can use this recliner while you're driving, or you could turn it around. So for those of you who see this coach and go, I don't know if there's enough seating facing the television, keep in mind you've got the 2 seats at the booth, you've got the 2 theater seats, and then you've also got the driver and passenger seat that can all turn around and become full-fledged recliners. So really nice features there. I do have some stuff today. Honestly, we had talked about doing a measurements video. I'm not going to do it. It's just too windy outside. You can see the Newmar reflection like wavering in this video shot right here from the wind blowing. Like somebody's mail is going across the parking lot. I mean, it's just so gusty here today. We're not going to do an outside video again. Not because we can't, but when you're opening and closing baggage doors for a video shot, you usually kind of open them and then the photographer will go through and show a shot of it. And the last thing I need is to have a big gust and have it hyperextend or something the day before the Urix are coming in to pick up their coach. So we're going to forego that, but we'll talk again about some of the fun stuff So one of my favorite things is that they have, you know, every year we come out with a better camera system. This year they've gotten rid of the dash, so you just got one consecutive piece of glass here. But as you can see, I can see overhead, I can see the camera in the back. You know, I can see where there's water on the ground. I mean, this is a really very nice camera system. I can change the direction so I can look down at the trailer hitch. I can look further back, or I can have a long angle view. I mean, you can see if there's anybody at any of your doors, or if you heard like a noise and maybe there's a bear. I mean, it's just such a cool thing to be in these RVs now, where not only are they comfortable, and it's like having, you know, your home with you, like having like a luxury Manhattan apartment that you're driving down the road, but on top of it, it's got that security that you're used to having with your, you know, your Ring doorbell. Like you can see everybody before they come into your coach. You can make sure you're not opening the door to a stranger. And if you hear something going bump in the night, you can make sure that it's not somebody that you don't want to meet when you walk outside, like a big black bear. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this dash. So this is the Freightliner chassis. You can of course have either a Freightliner or Spartan chassis. I happen to be a big fan of the fact that the Freightliner has some really nice standard features. Like I like the stock control with the engine brake on the stock. So if I wanted to put this coach into drive, I just tab up. If I wanted to put it in reverse, I just tab down, and then I can go back into neutral. I can still manually shift on this stock. The other thing I like about this coach is that we have, for instance, all of the displays that we need right here, very easy to see. So I've got my PSI for my tags. I've got my temperature for my engine. I've got my RPMs. I've got my miles per hour. As you can see, I can have a digital display for miles per hour. I've got my collision avoidance assistance. So this coach, of course, has the collision mitigation system in it. So if I was going to try to run into the van, as I was when we were parking earlier, not on purpose, like I wasn't going to run into it, but Avon gets me really close to the point where I'm uncomfortable. And it's funny because the coach is like, nope, 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 we're not going to do that. So not only do I get uncomfortable with how close Avon has me get to his video van, the RV is really smart. It's got, you know, it's got a camera system and a radar system, and it's telling me like, hey, watch out, which is great because I mean, at the end of the day, we all know how it can be when you're camping. Maybe you're a little hungover, maybe you went hiking a little too long yesterday, maybe the kids are making you nuts, you get distracted, and this coach has got all of the standard safety features that you're used to having in your high-end cars in this coach. Even things like blind spot assist, and it's honestly one of the only reasons I turn this on is I just want to show you that little yellow warning triangle. When you're driving down the freeway, that totally disappears until there's somebody in your blind spot, and then that turns red. Now, anytime you're under about 26 miles an hour, it'll be yellow, because it's telling you to take caution because you're in a position where it's not able to really read who's in your blind spot. But it's very cool that it's integrated into your mirror, so when you look to the left or the right, you already know what you're looking for. Another nice feature is your camera. When you put your turn signal on, it shows you down the side of the coach right here, and that camera is integrated into the mirror. So that's also pretty cool. Another one of my favorite features of this coach for 2026 is the fact that we have automatic headlights now. I think that that's such a nice feature. Also, of course, you've got your fog lights still. You've got all of your steering wheel controls. There is a shortcut button to get to your steering effort. In fact, I'm going to turn that up right now because one of the things that we're concerned about, to be honest with you, is getting this coach back up to Wyoming. If I turn my steering effort up higher, it's going to give this coach an electronic bias to go straight down the road. And again, that comfort drive steering control is a shortcut right here. So Freightliner in 2023 really made some pretty significant enhancements to their chassis, as did Spartan. So there's not one that's better than the other. There are different characteristics of either. I'm happy to cover both of them for you. I would say that I have a mild bias to Freightliner because we are a Daimler Elite dealership, but we also do full service on Spartan chassis as well. I just feel like there's a lot of Freightliner accessibility out there. They have a much wider breadth of network for service, and I worked for Mercedes for 12 years, so I happen to be a pretty big Daimler fan. I love all their copyrights. I like a lot of the research and the work that they do, and I do think that that trickle-down technology ends up in their end-user products, even if you're not buying, you know, an SLS or, you know, an AMG, you know, S63 or something like that. So, you know, all of that being said, both chassis are great. This is the Freightliner chassis. They're going to have steering wheel controls, cruise control. You can answer and hang up your phone. You've got nav and go navigation regardless of which chassis you choose. There's a wireless charging port here for your phone, cup holders for both. They'll always have a nice power window. And then, oh, it's on tag dump. I'm going to go ahead and put that back to auto. And then power exterior mirrors that are heated. And then over here, I'm going to get out of your way, Alyssa, so you can take a shot of that. You'll notice that we're angled towards the front of the coach and to the right. So this is our HWH hydraulic leveling system. This leveling system is telling me that my nose is tilted towards the front and I'm also tilted towards the starboard side, and that I'm in travel mode. All I would have to do is hit auto level. If I hit auto level, it would immediately, it would raise, it would dump my rear airbags. So I would have my butt end of my coach as low as possible, and then it would actually deploy all of my jacks hydraulically, and it would self-level. They can be manually controlled as well. And keep in mind, this HWH system is what's powering your hydraulic slide as well. So that's why you get HWH when you move into that Dutch Star product, as opposed to being on the equalizer leveling system, which is necessary only for Ventanas and Baystars and things like that, because they just don't have these gigantic full wall slides. Anything above Dutch Star is going to have a full wall slide, and you're going to always find that those coaches are going to be running that HWH hydraulic leveling system. So great partnership with Newmar for both equalizer and HWH. It's just important to understand there are a lot of little nuances that change as you move up model lines, and you get a little bit of a different benefit from some of those things. I'm going to turn my radio down, show you these drawers. And then we're gonna step outside, and Alyssa, I'm gonna warn you, we're gonna go outside for like a few brief seconds, and I'll open the door and let you go first, but let's just show this outside of the cockpit first. So there is a rear view camera, and it's integrated so that you can see everything on the dash that I'm looking at, but it's gonna give me an opportunity. You can see the grain in this maple wood when you get this sable interior. I had a couple that I really enjoyed working with that bought a Dutch Star for me, and one of their concerns was they didn't know whether or not they'd be able to see the grain in the sable finish, and you certainly can. You know what we didn't do, Alyssa? Here, let's trade places. We did not cover the mid-bath. We didn't show the stool room. Come on back. This is where I almost squished you, but you'll be able to fit very easily. We got lots of walking space. Okay, so that's what we didn't cover. So you can see in here the Summit finish when you order this coach comes with the white uppers and the dark lowers. So like I said, this is one of the changes that we made in this build, is we took the Summit out of the rear bathroom, so it was all consecutively, but in this smaller bathroom it really opens it up to have the two-tone cabinets. And as you can see, there's tons of storage here for extra TP if you want to keep any you know, suntan lotion, the things that people might need when they're camping with you here in the center bath where they'll have access to it. You've got tons of storage, but if you want to be able to do your makeup, nice wall outlet right here. You can get that magnifying mirror, do your makeup, you know, tweeze your eyebrows, all those things that you still need to do when you're out in the road camping. And then a lot of storage. We split the storage up with the kids. Everyone gets a shelf. So they can keep all their toiletries there. Of course, I only have one bathroom in my coach, not a bath and a half luxury like this. And my 22 Newmar Superstar, I hate to say it, but as much as I'd love to get a Class A, I don't have any excuse to get rid of it anytime soon. It is kicking. In fact, I think it's going to come in today to get a service on the chassis. And then we're going to get ready for a few things. We've got the Newmar dealer show coming up in February, so early this year. And then we also have the International Rally, which we're actually going to sponsor, the 40-year anniversary rally. Newmar is allowing us to host you in Wyoming this coming year for the International Rally. So we're really excited about that too. Okay, let's file forward. Here she goes. doing a great job for her first day behind the camera. Thank you so much for jumping in and giving Jody a little extra needed rest. Now, before you go, as you can see, again, tons and tons of walking room, but again, great place to be able to make a sandwich. You can open your refrigerator doors. All of them have access to your pantry. Everything is very easily accessible, even though these slides are completely closed. Now, I do want to show that when you do have the slides closed, maybe you've got your puppy with you. If you want to stay safe, go ahead and put your step cover out. You also want to make sure you have your step cover fully deployed when you're driving. If there's an immediate stop and for some reason you were to slide out of your seat, you don't want to end up in the footwell of this coach. All that being said, the footwell, as you can see, is very nicely illuminated. And since we're not going to go outside to show this, I'm just going to do it right here. You also have storage underneath. So this top one is deeper storage. This would be a great place if you wanted to keep any kind of dog food. Maybe you've got some, you know, nice tall boots or something like that, cowboy boots you want to store in there. So plenty of room for shoes or for any kind of accessories you want to keep, you know, right near the footwell of your coach. And then also there's a wireless charging dock here. And again, we're going to talk about this a lot, but more connectivity for your outlets. So if you need to be able to get to, you know, your phone and you've got a Type-C or a Type-A USB port, you also have 110, so you can get anything you need up and running, all right there. And then this is to turn on the house, and the chassis is going to be in the back. We're not going to see that today. This is lock and unlock for the baggage doors, which you can also do off of the keypad that Alyssa rang the doorbell on when she came in. And then you also have a remote. So again, just super thorough accessibility and very, very easy to use coach. We are going to go out and do a full shot of the exterior on this, and then I'll show the front end of the coach and the stock number, and then we're going to sign off today. We're not going to open up all those doors, as I mentioned, but it actually feels a little less gusty right now, which is cool. It's been getting up there today. We have a high wind warning, but we have to show this off. So as you can see, this paint job turned out so well. It was so fun. Wayne and Chrissy, it was like one of the most important things to them was to get a color that they really liked. And it is just gorgeous. I love this nice true blue, this dark gray mixed in with the sparkle black and the white. And then as you can see, Newmar does a great job in paint matching all the way through, so that there's this beautiful color all the way through, even on your extended slides. So this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous coach. Now you can always save the stock number for this coach, so if you want to see this video again, or call me and say, hey, I like something that you did here, or I don't like something, you just reference this stock number here. It's 5N251068. Again, 5N251068. My name is Katie O'Neill. Thank you so much for going on a tour. Again, Wayne, Chrissy, thank you so much for all of your time that you spent with us and doing your research, and for choosing us to help you get on the road and camping.